Hello and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin, and I forgot how many Pokemon I play with.
Oh, man.
Oh, would you look at that?
It came.
I've been reminded. I play with 2.
Oh, man. I love that shirt.
I know. It came out a lot better than I anticipated.
That's great.
Not that I had low expectations, but
you put a lot of work into that one. I'm still waiting for mine to come. Canada, man.
One day. Maybe next year.
Canada, dude. How's your week?
Pretty good. Same as always. Nothing changes in the world. Wear your masks, people. Jeez.
Oh, really? Yeah. Did it snow in Jersey for you?
No.
It snowed here yesterday.
It was 30 degrees the other day, which is like 0 Celsius or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for Celsiifying that one for me.
Well, I think 0 is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's my benchmark right there.
Right. It slowed in lower New York the other day, Ryan says in the chat. Oh my gosh, man. It's May, dude. It's May. Can that not happen, please?
It's also 2020, so everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, apparently we've got like big old murder bees, and we've got like snow. Yeah. That's a whole thing. We've got comb bees coming through from Japan.
Now we have we're just gonna use Beedrill on the channel next.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't know why the first bee Pokemon that I thought of was Combee. It definitely should have been
and not Beedrill.
Beedrill is the original murder bee. Like that is what Mega Beedrill was made after, I'm sure.
So what you looked at when you thought of Murder Bee was just Combee's smiling face. You thought of Murder Bee.
Those things are terrifying, dude. Watch out. No, not gonna lie. Like I'm sure a lot of people in their journey through Sword and Shield, when they first hit the wild area, one of the first like mega big Pokemon that they came across was probably Vespiquen. It was either that or Steelix. And it just like pops out. It's level 60 and it's like, I don't think I know how to deal with this. I have like a level 12 Sobble. Like
Sobble's in the game?
Who? Never heard of him.
Me either.
It's Sunday, May 10th today, everybody. And that means that today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there who let their 10-year-old children travel the country and save the world from terrible, destructive Pokemon, or at least let them compete.
Oh yeah, that's something.
Yeah. I mean, hey, not all kids can be winners, but
you gotta
mothers
stop these evildoers from eating Slowpoke.
Yo, watch out for Team Rocket though. Seriously, don't wreck your stuff.
Out there eating your Slowpokes, like, come on, man.
Out there eating your Slowpoke tails, man. They want them. And then, of course, if you're listening on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts on Wednesday the 13th, where did everything go? It is, boom, National Apple Pie Day. So, not great news for this little guy, this little Appleton right there, but hey.
Rest in peace, Appleton. What's your favorite pie? Mine is unorthodox.
Unorthodox pie is definitely a weird pie. I've never had unorthodox pie. I would have to say cherry pie. Cherry pie is pretty good.
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato pie?
Why? It's so good, especially during Thanksgiving. Oh, dude.
I will say, and I'm gonna make a lot of enemies by doing this, but I don't see the hype around pecan pie. That's just not. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I think one of my enemies is now Kevin. Yeah. Oops. I don't see the hype. The pie with nuts, like, come on.
Dude, but it's not a nut. It's a pecan. It's different.
Pecan is a nut.
What's a pecan? It's a pecan.
It's a pecan. Pecan pie. Pecan pie. All right. But we're not here to talk about pecan pie. We're here to talk about apple pie and Appleton. What's your favorite version of Appleton? The one that you get?
Toasted.
Oh,
what?
Oh no. Oh. Oh man.
Granny Smith.
You went there.
Yeah, people are mad at you about the pecan pie right now.
Pecan pie is fire. Oh man. Coming
Ryan's
from Pyrus.
on your side. Congratulations.
I got pie. Well, you know what? You take what you can get sometimes. All right. So let's get right into the news. How about that?
Very short news. Not
very
much
short
going on
news.
this
Yeah,
week.
like we mentioned last week, how stuff just keeps happening in the Pokemon world, but like this week, stuff didn't happen in the Pokemon world.
Yeah, the complete opposite. We jinxed it.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing
whatever.
happened.
Hey, dude. So May 11th, for everybody listening live, that's tomorrow. I'm sorry, Ryan. For everybody listening today, it is tomorrow. For everybody listening on the 13th, that was 2 days ago. Your chance to find a Tyranitar, Dragapult, Togekiss, Whimsicott, Excadrill, or Rotom Heat in max raids is over. May 11th was the last day. It was really worth doing these if you wanted some strong competitive Pokemon, and if you're listening on Wednesday, you're too late. So sorry.
We told you for 2 weeks, guys. You should have been listening.
I think this is the third time that we're saying it. So don't sleep on the max raids. I'm telling
actually
you.
know a couple content creators actually made teams around these Pokemon, or like using these Pokemon specifically.
Really?
Like, it's actually a solid team.
It's a good team. Why not? I mean, if they had swapped like Rotom Heat for Arcanine, it would have been like the high meta of March.
The literal snoozeville of VGC, yeah.
Yeah. Like that would February. February was what that would have been. It's exactly that. So that is in the max raid news. But then in Smogon, we had one change this week. Lanoon has been banned from NU, so from never used. It's interesting looking at these tier changes, because now that we're like actually delving heavier into the Smogon stuff, and maybe I mentioned this last week, it's cool to see just like how broken the current meta is in different genres. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I always thought Lanoon was like really good, so I'm surprised it was even in NU to begin with.
Yeah, really.
Especially when you brought it against me in that Little Cup battle. I saw a Zigzagoon and I saw a Belly Drum, and I shivered. I didn't like it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you'd expect Belly Drum, extreme speed to be killing it more in not even NU, but like everything above that.
There's actually a very interesting thing about all these. Like we talked about Linoon, but actually a lot of Pokemon were up for ban or do not bans.
Really?
In NU, it was I think Linoon, Flapple, Cofagrigus, Toxicroak, and Drampa. And Lanoon was the only one that was just like all in favor of banning Lanoon. Like I guess it was that overbearing.
Wow. Everyone's like, no, Cofagrigus, you stay right there. Flapple, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're cool. But you, Lanoon, get out of here.
Get out.
Breaking the meta.
Funny. Poor guy. Poor Lanoon.
Whatever. He's fine. We'll play with him someday. One day. It was, you know what? I have to say it's interesting talking in our Discord with all of the people that we talk to on a weekly basis. We've started to kind of open the floor up to them a little bit more now that we have more people in there and they're talking a little bit more and they're like provoking some really good thought. We put out the question of what should we be talking about on the podcast this week. And so just today actually, a few people mentioned coping with loss in ranked battles. And so we thought that was a really good topic to talk about, because like that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is like it's hard to get into a competitive mindset when you are losing. Like what do you do when you lose over and over, when you think that something's really going to work and then it just doesn't? Like how do you get over that mental block? So that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about I can't look at this and not. I'm sorry. I put up a slide. You know that for people listening on podcast, you know that scene from the first movie where Pikachu like starts crying and all the other Pokemon start crying, and like it's a very emotional scene, and like everybody who grew up as a kid at that point was bawling their eyes out. I have that slide there, so I'm just gonna move past that. We're not gonna be looking at that one.
Pika Pika.
No.
They could hear it.
No.
I gotta put it in their brains.
Oh no, you've done it.
Oh,
you've ASMR'd it into the people's conscious.
I'll take it a step further.
Take it a step
everyone's
further.
seen the first movie. When Ash is stoned and Pikachu just shock him. Oh no, it's chill.
Yeah.
You just hear that over and over.
Yeah, okay, like this is the desperate. Okay, anyway.
Tofu says that was my favorite part. I hate Ash.
Oh man. So yeah, well, let's talk about that. So some of the things that we experience, because we all experience that when we try to get up the ladder in Pokemon Showdown or in actual, in game trying to get into Master Ball tier or high rank Master Ball tier. A lot of the times you'll see a lot of teams or moves or items that you just were not aware that were going to be there, and that can tilt. That can tilt pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to have that conversation with Kevin, with you, Kevin, on what you do to cope. So you just recently have been streaming. Did you lose at all on stream? I didn't get a chance to catch that.
I lost a couple times. I was doing a Patreon team testing a lot on Showdown. There was actually a couple things this week that I lost to that kind of tilted me, and I was like, okay, it's time to put the game down.
Oh, really?
One of them was to a Focus Sash Torkoal. I would have won the game.
Okay.
But the Torkoal had Focus Sash. Another one, ironically, was also Torkoal, but this one had a Quick Claw. And it got the Quick Claw at like 1 HP, and I had a Venusaur on the field. And I would have won to Sludge Bomb, but it went first.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's so disappointing.
That's a 10% chance that you just lost to right there. That's crazy.
Okay.
That's a real tilter for me. It's like when it's such a little percent chance that it happens, but it happens. Or like when you miss that Draco that wins you the game, like your heart is just broken.
Right. Well, so how do you deal with that when you do get the broken heart?
My first reaction usually is like if it's a loss that's determined on hacks, like I just mentioned, and it's not anything that I actually could have done better, then I'll just play another game, get my mind off of it, and win the next game. But if I'm on like a serious loss streak, you just like my first instinct is you have to take a break. You need to go make some lunch. You need to go have a couple of sips of water, do some exercise, get a snack.
Yeah.
And then you can start playing again. Maybe even play another game. Sometimes just playing another game. And I actually know a lot of content creators right now, since there's no competitive scene, are starting to play other games because, they just feel burnt out on Pokemon. And since there's no real tournament setting, they feel as though like, okay, might as well play something else while I can because there's no real competing right now. So playing another game is actually an option. And that's something I learned a lot about. Like I used to play League of Legends a lot, and I used to take that game very seriously. And that game, I learned a lot of things about myself competitively while playing that game.
Really?
I learned that one, I'm a very competitive person, and I take it seriously no matter what. Like even if I know I'm not the greatest, I will keep playing until I am the greatest. And that's a very toxic mindset. And it wasn't until like after multiple testing and trying different things out that I was able to get myself into the position that like, okay, if I lose, it's fine.
Right.
At the end of the day, a game is just pixels on a screen.
I see.
And especially with games that have chances of hacks, they have crits, and they have just people that are better than you. You just have to take every loss as a learning experience, learn from your losses, and celebrate your victories.
Right.
And that's it.
No, yeah, I get initially. That's like a it's just a game. Why you have to be mad kind of mindset. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I get a little. I don't feel necessarily that way when people say like it's just a game. You don't need to be mad. It's like, well, hey, I mean, it's something that I spent 20 minutes to an hour on. So like I'm upset that the way that I invested my time didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. So like I get it, kind of on both sides there. But for me, when I'm playing and for Pokemon, and I'll keep it Pokemon for you guys, because I could definitely get into other esports like League of Legends or StarCraft or Dota or all of the other games that I've played before that I went hyper competitive into and got incredibly tilted and had to learn how to deal with. But we'll talk about Pokemon. I try to see myself from outside of, and I'm going to sound like really weird saying this, but outside of my body. So like try and look at yourself from like 10, 100,000 feet away, right?
I get that.
Yeah. You look at how you're presenting yourself, what your body language looks like are you visibly upset at what just happened? And so the first thing that I do is I correct that. So typically what that means is like my shoulders will be up. Like your shoulders can show you a lot about how you're feeling. If your shoulders are up, it means you're like kind of tense, so you drop your shoulders. If your shoulders are down, you're kind of hunched over, it means you're sad. You pick yourself back up. Or if you just have bad posture, then hey, fix that. So yeah, first thing I do is correct how I look. Second thing is I think about how I feel. So I ask myself the question, how am I reacting to the result of this game? Have I actually gained anything from this loss? Do I just feel bad about the loss, or can I actually learn something from it? So you look at that and you're like, okay, well, was there something I could have done differently? Maybe you write that down. Maybe you like take a second and internalize it and then go back at it if you have the mental capacity to do so. And realizing too that you do have a mental capacity for these kind of games, right? Like you can play up to a certain amount of games before you start to taper off on how you're making your decisions. Because like you said, it is a mental game, right? So like if your mental state isn't fully there, then you've got to find a way to get back on that.
And it's like Pokemon in general isn't a game that requires mechanics. You just literally have to choose buttons. So it's just 100% a mental game. So if you have like you should be playing Pokemon the same way you study for a test. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you have, you're not on an empty stomach. Don't get distracted while you're studying. You won't retain anything. Just like you have to put yourself in that mindset if you actually plan on improving and playing at your best potential. There's so many plays that I'm like rewatching our YouTube videos, right? And I'm watching and I'm like, oh, I could have played that 100% better. But like when you're making a YouTube video, you're talking, you're trying to be entertaining, you're reacting. So it's completely different. Like you have stimulus around you, and you're not 100% focused. You don't have that outer body experience that you were talking about. And that's actually a very good point that you mentioned, because that outer body experience happens to me in person tournaments more than anything.
Right.
I am not in my body when I'm at an in-person tournament. I am in that game. I am the trainer. It's like, it's a weird experience.
Oh, and I mean, like you see pictures of people with like their like super mean game faces and like, I know like Wolf uses it for a lot of his thumbnails, just like his like super game face that he makes at tournaments and stuff. But like that's very real. Like people get out of their like they don't think too much about how they're looking when they're in game. They're just like, okay, if I don't have to worry about what I'm looking like, then I don't have to worry about how I'm feeling. When in reality, like the two things kind of go hand in hand. So if you control how you look, you control how you feel. If you control how you feel, you control how you look. Is how I see it anyway. Same thing with a win too, by the way. If you get a win and you're celebrating and you're really happy and you got those endorphins going, like that's great. But you have to think like, were there specific decisions that I made that made me win, that led me to this win? And by repeating the things that got you the win, that's how you can end up doing better. For example, perfect example, on our YouTube channel, we just had a rematch of our Ubers battle. That just came out on Friday, our rematch. And there were a bunch of situations in that match where I and you took experiences that we had from the first match and applied that to the second. We didn't make the same mistakes that we made in the first one, or we made new mistakes in the second one that led to a win or a loss on either side. But I think like really being cognizant of what was going on there leads to being able to perform differently, either positively or negatively.
Yeah, I think that's a biggest thing is just you can learn from your wins too. And take your it's nice to be happy when you win, but take your wins that you won because of hacks with a grain of salt, because you won because of hacks. You could have played that better. Like
or if you know that you were relying on those, then just know that you were.
Yeah. If you're playing Jirachi and Ironhead flinching, like that's your strat there. But yeah, I think something that can be said with me and Mike.
Togekiss mains?
Well, something that can be said about me and Mike in terms of it's actually a very interesting scenario playing the same person again with the exact same Pokemon. I think I speak for Mike and myself here. We both played better the second battle than the first battle.
Yes.
120%.
Absolutely. I think we took it more seriously in the second one too.
Oh yeah.
Like we realized that it wasn't just like, I don't know, like the numbers really mattered in this one. Like a crit could mean the difference between an entire KO or a Pokemon staying alive at 1 HP.
It's bragging rights in the Discord, man.
It's bragging rights in the Discord, man. It's emotes.
These fans will make fun of us until the end of time. It's bragging rights.
Lampent emotes and Noctowl emotes and Excadrill emotes all day.
Oh, Noctowl is a great example. I was visibly mad about losing to Noctowl on that video. In fact, if you guys noticed, that was the last time that team showed up on the channel for a reason. But after like it became like a joke, I eventually was like, oh, okay, I guess it's not that big of a deal to open it. That was just kind of funny.
And now you like it. And now you're friends with Noctowl.
I used it one time.
You used it one time.
Just one time.
I mean, hey, I'll give the people in Twitch chat a spoiler, but tomorrow I'm putting out a video of me using Excadrill. Because of the same reason.
Mike has to come to terms with Excadrill.
I had to learn to like it. And I think the problem wasn't that I didn't like it. Like, I know it's a good Pokemon. The problem is that it beats me so often that I recognize it as a threat. And so I don't like looking at its face because I know what that symbolizes.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec. I got something for you, Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, in the meantime, while Kevin goes to get that, I'll mention, yes, Tanner's in the chat saying, and fan. Oh, yeah. Rotom fan makes an appearance there. We got that disco. Oh, my God. You actually got an Excadrill plush.
I got an Excadrill plush.
Oh,
just
no.
for you, Mikey.
Oh, no.
You want to know something sad? I was going to give this to you when I went to Ontario.
Oh.
I've had this for years.
I would have had that like really sitting there on my desk just staring at me. That would have sucked.
Next to all your fire energy for some reason.
Dude, you have to keep fire energy on your desk just to show that you have it. You need to have fire energy if you're going to compete. All right? Big fire energy. That's what I'm saying, all right?
Just start taping it to the wall.
Never
every podcast you have one fire energy against the wall.
Ever say anything bad about my fire energy ever again.
You see what Mike just did right now? That's him tilting because he saw an Excadrill.
I spit fire is what just happened. I spit mad bars. All right.
I think we answered the question pretty well.
I hope so.
Mental game. Think when you play, get better when you lose.
Yeah. I want to add in one parting thought. And I'm guilty of this, and I say this because I'm guilty of it mostly. Just because you lose with a team, don't immediately go and think about swapping it out. All right?
I'm guilty of that too.
I'm super guilty of that. Yeah, right? Like you lose to one team and you're like, okay, I need to either use that team that I just lost to, or I need to swap out my team because this isn't working. But like, maybe it's just how you played it, right? Maybe think about
a Pokemon before the team
if you want to, yeah, or just keep on trying out that team. Maybe it was a series of decisions that led to a loss rather than a specific Pokemon or your specific team. Maybe you just need to change up the way that you do things. Again, our rematch using the exact same Pokemon, like we didn't change anything, but the result was different. And it was all just in the way that we played it out. Like both of us got hacks in different places, but we also used like a different series of Pokemon, knowing what the other person had and what the other person could do with what they had.
There's actually a point in those battles where our prediction game took 2 or 3 steps. Like I made a 2-point prediction, which is predicting someone to predict you to predict them.
Right.
And then Mike made a 3-step prediction, which is adding another tier to that, which takes you all the way back to just making the original basic play.
Yeah.
And it works in that favor. It's like that those moments are why I love Pokemon.
I think those specifically, I think I remember the exact position we were in at that time. It was I was using an Eternatus. Yes. And they were and I was assuming that you having, I think, the Reshiram out or the Kyurem
I had
White.
the Ferrothorn.
Ferrothorn. So I had assumed that he was going to swap out into a Dragon type or Reshiram. Yeah. And so I would have gone for a Dynamax cannon, but I thought that he thought that. So I decided to use Flamethrower, which would either take out the Ferrothorn if he kept it in, which he wouldn't do, or would do damage to a Zacian, which I assumed he would bring out because he wanted something that could tank a Dynamax cannon. So he did exactly that, and I powered down the Zacian. And I think that was actually what ended up having me win the game.
Yeah, my thought process there was Mike's too good not to predict me to switch here, so he's not gonna go for Flamethrower. That was my thought process. So I was like, okay,
it's a super convoluted chain of events.
So I was like, okay, I'll go into Zacian because fairy type, but then he went for Flamethrower anyway.
Yeah, that one's on our rematch for our Uber's battle. So I highly recommend checking that one out. Everything that we just said will hopefully make sense once you see that. Anyway, I really want to play our new game. So how about we go and take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will get into our brand new segment. We'll see you then. And we are back. How is everybody doing? I hope you had a nice break, got yourselves some water, got yourselves a nice little snack. Oh, Kevin did.
Snack.
Oh, okay.
No snack.
Hey, we're
the only snack I have here is Excadrill.
Just so everybody knows, we're trying to embrace the Twitch culture a little bit more on Pokésports. So at the end of this podcast, we will be doing a raid. So stick around until the end, and we will find somebody to invade their space. Bad. Anyway, Kevin.
Hello.
Do you know what time it is?
It's time to beat you, Mike.
Oh. Well, I was about to say it's time to Dexit. Welcome to Dexit, everybody. This is our newest segment on the podcast. If you are a patron on patreon.com/Pokésports podcast, you'll have heard the intro, I guess, like test of this segment last week. But essentially, by the way, before I get into that, if anybody can see right over here, this is a beautiful masterpiece that I've created for Dexit. If anybody would like to create a picture or a graphic for Dexit once you've listened to it, please do make something like that and then tweet it at us at Pokésports Pod on Twitter, and we might use that as our Dexit logo. But basically, this is it. Oh, isn't that great? Look at that. I'm really proud of the Pokedex. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not even gonna lie either. The Pokedex is the best thing in that image,
dude.
It's also the smallest thing in that image.
That was such a backhanded compliment. I hate you so much. All right, listen. Let me tell you the rules for Dexit. This is how you play. Each time we play, I'm going to pick 2 Pokedex entries. Kevin is also going to pick 2 Pokedex entries. I'm going to pick them for him. He's going to pick them for me. Each of those picks must be a Pokemon that is currently not in Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield, and needs to be in the final stage of its evolutionary line. So that means it could be the end of a 2 or 3 step evolution, or it can just be a Pokemon that doesn't evolve at all. The point of this game is to guess what Pokemon the other person is talking about by Pokedex entry only. So what that means is we're going to read out those entries. We have to guess it just by the entry. Okay. Does that make sense? Kevin, does that make sense?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm playing the game.
Good. Yeah, the way that, of course, this is a competition. This is a competitive Pokemon podcast. So the way that each person wins, we award points. You get a full 10 points if you can guess by just the Pokedex entry alone. You get 5 points if you can't guess, but you need the typing. When we give the typing, we only give 1 out of the possible 2 types that Pokemon can have. Okay. So if it's, say, a Dragonite, which is, I believe, dragon flying, then you can say dragon or you can say flying after giving the Pokedex entry. That would be hilarious, by the way, if I guessed one of yours. No. And then and then you get 1 point. Then you get 1 point if the person needs the first letter and the typing of the Pokemon. So at that point, it's just like, who cares?
We're throwing the answer.
You're throwing exactly, basically. So for Twitch and you guys listening right now, we do ask that if you know the answer, you are free to just go ahead and shout it out. Try and guess on your own. Play at home. Haha. Da 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 da. But Kevin and I have taken an oath not to look at Twitch chat while we are choosing our Pokemon, our Pokedex entries. So you will not be spoiling anything for us. You have to trust us on that. Sorry. I can see you now, but I'm going to close you off before I guess. So here is the game. I believe you start. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
First one for you. The first dex hit for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling down. Okay. You ready for it?
I am ready.
It picks flowers and sticks them to its body with fluids it produces.
Okay.
The aroma that wafts from its petals has a healing effect.
Okay. So it picks flowers and sticks them to its body.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I have a feeling that I know what the Pokemon is, but I don't know if I know the name. So, whoa.
We weren't prepared for this.
I wasn't prepared for this. So
sounds like you might need to give yourself some hints then.
I don't think so. No. Because I think I know most of it. It picks flowers and sticks them to its body with fluids it produces. So I have a feeling that this Pokemon is, and don't give me anything for this, but I'm just going to describe it for the audience. You can circular. Is circular.
Okay.
And it like floats and is a fairy type. Oh no.
I can't confirm or deny.
I know you can't. And so I might have to actually skip down to the 1 point by getting the first letter. Oh no.
Is that your final decision? Are you gonna you could take a stab at it first. I'll let you.
Okay, I'm gonna guess a name.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, because it's like a lay, it's got to be something like Les Miserables is what it is. So, all right, I'm going to need the first letter.
That answer was Les Miserables.
That answer was Les Miserables. Tell me the first letter.
C.
And immediately my mind goes to cottony. And that's unfortunate because that's definitely not. Ah, dang it. You know what? I think I have to give up on the first one.
Oh, conceding. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I have to concede. So that's 0 points. Wow. Okay, tell me.
Comfy.
Comfy.
You were thinking of that right Pokemon too. You're thinking of the flower hula thing.
Yeah, from Sun and Moon. Head. Like, I even remember what generation it's from. You know that I'm bad at generations.
You remember the typing, exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. And like, I get how like, if you didn't know that description would have been very hard, because flowers and petals, like, you think that it's a grass type, but no, it's just a fairy.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah. I see what you're doing. Okay. Well, that's fine. So I'm fine with taking the 0 on this. It was a lot easier on Patreon when we had the list of Pokemon in front of us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we also made a note not to look at anything, which is harder.
That's a lot harder. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You know, and it just means I'm gonna have to study up. But obviously, like, really, who knows what comfy is? Literally nobody. What was the chat like during this? Let me see. Okay, so somebody got it. One person got it in the chat. Some people guessed Snorlax, Jigglypuff, Klefki. Okay, Klefki was a good one. Yeah.
Guys, it's Snorlax. What?
Takes flowers, sticks it to its body, just goes to sleep. All right. So here is mine. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The bones of its face are huge and hard, so they were mistaken for its spine until after this Pokemon was successfully restored.
He has bones on his face that are hard.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be part of his back. Or her back.
Or just mistaken.
This Pokemon was successfully restored. Okay, so it has to be a fossil.
Okay. If that's what you choose to believe.
That is what I choose to believe.
All right.
It's a fossil that's not in the game, so it's not Aurorus. Wait, Aurorus isn't in the game yet. Never mind. See, I'm caught between two right here.
Oh, okay. Tell us your thought process.
I'm caught between two, and since you have 0 points,
yes,
I can kind of just bring it down to the 1 point.
You absolutely could.
Because if I just ask for the typing, you're gonna tell me it's rock because it's a fossil.
That was very good.
So, give me the first letter.
Oh, you got some information out of me just then. How dare you? First letter is, since we're down to 1 point anyway, I don't mind. B.
Bastiodon.
There you go. Congratulations. It is Bastiodon.
It was between that and Cranidos. I was like, oh, it's one or the other.
Ooh. The bones of its face are huge and hard. Yeah, that makes sense. Cranidos. It could definitely be that. But mistaken for its spine, like.
Yeah, that's why I wanted the letter. So Kevin at 1 point. we're shooting low today, folks.
Let's see what the chat said. So some people said Kabutops. Wow, excuse me. I think I sneezed there. Bastiodon. Some people guessed Bastiodon. A couple people did. Yeah, nice. Caracosta was another one. Armaldo, very good. Not
definitely in the realm of fossils.
Yeah. And I think that was 100% my fault. You mind gamed me. You're like, oh man, you're not gonna say anything but rock if I guess because it's gonna be a fossil, and I'm like, yeah. Wait.
Got him.
Okay, so that was 1 point for you, no points for me. So now it's back to my turn. Rather, you're gonna read it out. Am I ready? I am ready. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
Okay. It is encased in a shell. Oh, well, in a steel shell. Its peering eyes are all that can be seen of its mysterious innards.
Okay.
Would you like me to repeat it?
Nope, I'm good. It is encased in a steel shell. Its peering eyes are all that can be seen of its mysterious innards. Innards. Encased in a steel shell. Okay.
Do you need its typing?
I how dare you? How dare you? How dare you right now with that? Oh man. I almost want it just so I can confirm that it's steel.
Can you afford the points?
Can I afford the points? If I get 10, if I get 5, then yeah, I can afford the points. Why not? If I lose this, then I lose anyway. Tell me the typing.
Steel.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Kevin. Love it. So right now, my mind immediately goes to Bronzong, but that's in the game, I believe. Yeah, it is in the game.
Yeah.
So I need to think of a Pokemon that is not in the game. That's some backwards thinking too. Okay.
It's a Pokemon you haven't seen in a while. That's why it's hard.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I hope the people at home have gotten this one because I don't think I will without the first letter. So
I would read you another entry, but they're all about its shell.
They're all about the steel shell. Okay. You know what? Let's go for the 1-pointer. Tell me the first letter, please.
F.
It's not Ferrothorn. It's not.
Frou-frou.
That will be my final answer in an alternate dimension. Dang, I think I'm going 0 for 2 this time. No.
Do you want its secondary typing for free?
I will take its secondary typing for free.
You should get this right.
Okay.
I'm giving this
please.
Steel bug.
Steel bug that isn't Durant.
Yes.
Steel bug. All I can think of is Durant right now.
There's a couple steel bugs in the game, Mike.
No, there isn't. Name 3.
Okay.
I give up. It's fine.
Oh, you give up? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Fortress, Scizor, Durant.
Fortress.
It's nothing but a steel shell and some eyeballs.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right. Its peering eyes are all that can be seen of its mysterious innards. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I will happily take the loss this time. So what are people in the chat saying?
They're very mad at you. They're very mad. Mike, I swear to you, please.
I'm sorry. Well, Tofu guessed Jigglypuff. Hold on. So immediately, first comment out of the last the last question was Fortress. So oops. I'm seeing Mimikyu, hashtag bring back Fortress. Shelder, yeah, that's a good one too. Jigglypuff, Clefable. And then a bunch of people after that being like, Mike, I swear, dude, what? No. Oh man, Escavalier, Durant, Fortress, Scissor. Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of steel bug types. I'm sorry.
Name 3. We can name 4.
Name 3 that aren't the answer. Okay. So just for kicks, let's do the last one because I'm curious if you or anybody in the chat will be getting that one. All right, here we go. That's a long description. This Pokemon is the result of 2 other Pokemon achieving fusion. When hunting, this Pokemon pins the prey to the ground under its massive body. It then eats the helpless victim using the large mouth on its stomach. Yes, Kevin. That's right. That is the reaction I was hoping for.
What?
Yeah.
Rated E for everyone.
Rated E for very little people.
I'm not gonna take any guesses because I don't get anything taken if I get it wrong.
No. You have to. Yeah. Come on.
What? Take
win by a bunch. Oh yeah. Well, I guess you can't take guesses. Yeah, you got to give me a final answer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take any typing or anything. I'm just gonna give you a straight final.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not because I know it, but because it doesn't make a difference.
Do you know it?
No, I'm still thinking. I'm rereading this. It's
Okay.
Pokemon achieving fusion.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately I think of Gen 5 Legends
All right.
because they fuse. But then you say stomach mouth and which arguably is very efficient. You're eating and it's going right to where it's supposed to be.
You are right. You are correct.
Stomach mouth. You can have the chat open right now and you're probably going.
I do have the chat open right now.
Oh my god, I don't.
It's very funny.
Fusion stomach mouth. Stomach mouth I think of Guzzlord.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Because it's one big stomach.
What two Pokemon, and people in the chat, you can answer this. What two Pokemon equal Guzzlord?
Good question. Kingler and Might Yena? I don't know.
What a weird fusion.
I'm going to say Dusknoir?
Okay. So good guess. Good guess because it is a Pokemon with a stomach mouth.
Yes.
No, it is
No
a
fusion,
steel
though.
type and starts with the letter M. Also, somebody in chat has already guessed it. Like immediately.
Is it Mawile?
It is not Mawile.
There's more than one steel type that
Its
starts
stomach
with M?
is in its head.
Wait, stomach's in its head
No,
or
no,
its
no.
head's in
No,
its
that
stomach?
was a thing on Mawile. Anyway, continue.
Oh, okay. Okay, steel type starts with M. Not Melmetal.
Not Melmetal.
Not Mawile.
Not Mawile.
Is there a secondary typing?
There is a secondary typing and it's psychic.
Steel psychic
Mm-hmm.
with a stomach in its head
Oh yeah.
or head?
Oh, well, it's just got a
Yeah.
large mouth on its stomach.
Bronzong?
It's not Bronzong. Bronzong is in fact in this game, as we have
Give me
just
first
said.
letter.
First letter is
Oh yeah,
M.
you're no. Oh wait, you did already.
Yes,
Oh no. Then why did I even guess Bronzong?
that's all right. Ma Bronzong.
My boy Bronzong.
There are people in the listening right now who are just like shouting at their.
It's okay. Let
earbuds.
them shout. We can't
It's
hear
good.
them.
Yeah.
Keep shouting. Shout louder. In fact.
Would you like the answer? I can give you the answer.
I'm gonna take one more guess.
Okay. Ma Bronzong.
Metagross.
There you go. You got it.
Oh my god.
It's
I
Metagross.
just thought of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Big old mouth on its stomach.
Does it even have a stomach? Its whole body is its head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it doesn't have a stomach here, Mike.
Final answer. You are correct.
Jeez.
Oh.
I did get it. Oh, I'm surprised.
You did. It's Durant.
Bronzong. It's Durant.
Not a lot of either people in the chat didn't know this one or they all latched on to when Pyro said it. But Pyro's like immediately got Metagross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to Pyros. You win the home game. So that's Dexit. I hope you guys enjoyed that one because we're gonna be doing some more Dexits. And again, if you would be so kind as to fix my drawing, that would be fantastic. You can tweet that to us at Pokésports Pod. So Kevin, before we end off, and oh my God, we're coming up on time here, but before we end off, let's talk about some Pokemon to watch this week.
Mm-hmm.
What Pokemon are we watching this week? Well, I'll tell you, folks. The first one has to be my boy, Rotom Fan. You might think that Rotom Fan is a weird Pokemon. It's got the flying typing plus levitate, so it's like double immune to ground. And who wants that? Who needs that? Well, I'll tell you, you do. You do, because you know who exists? Excadrill. And you know what Excadrill can have? Old Breaker.
Okay.
So if
Where's this going, Mike?
listen, I'll tell you, if a Old Breaker Excadrill comes out and breaks that levitate, you're still immune to those earthquakes or those high horsepowers because of the flying typing. Like Excadrills are scared. No, Excadrills. Rotoms. Other Rotoms are scared of the Excadrill with Mold Breaker because they can just earthquake them down. Rotom Heat, nah, they don't want to take that. You just got a bunch from max raids. You're not using that against no Excadrill. You think that you can use that against Rotom Wash? You think that it's got the water typing and is going to take down your Excadrill? Nuh-uh. High horsepower earthquake, that's taking down your Rotom Wash. Rotom Fan, however, you Dynamax that big boy, you use a max Airstream, get the speed up, you get some damage off on the Mold Breaker Excadrill. You're seeing where I'm going with this. I see. Yep, I see you nodding your head. Very nice. And then your partner Pokemon with their +1 speed gets to use their attack, knock out the Excadrill before it can do any kind of shenaniganery. Just watch out for rocks. Nobody wants those. Rocks are bad. Okay?
Okay, Mike. I'll live in your space.
Thank you.
I think I got to see it to believe it. Check it out on YouTube. It'll probably be up by the time you hear this.
Yeah, definitely. It's coming out tomorrow. I actually use it. Funny enough, I use it with an Excadrill. And I don't think I had it on this Excadrill, but I can put Mold Breaker on my Excadrill. And I can just go for earthquakes and use the whole Disquake meme. You know what I'm saying? So you discharge, you get the paralysis on all of the other Pokemon, be they not Excadrills who are immune to electric, and then you go for your earthquakes and take out whatever isn't a Togekiss. So that's that.
Look, if you see a Rotom Fan on the thumbnail, you're probably finding the right video. Because it's probably the only one on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Our SEO for this one's going to be great, Kevin. We're going to monopolize Rotom Fan. Not Skywalker in the chat is saying Air Balloon is an absolute must. Can't ever be too safe. What if they have gravity? Right? It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
They have gravity.
If they're doing all that they can to bring your Rotom down, use an Air Balloon. Just, you win. Congrats. I'm proud of you. My second Pokemon to watch this week, this one's another one for me. It's Cobalion.
I hate that thing.
Cobalion's a fun little boy. If any of you have been dabbling in underused, you will see Cobalion. It's one of, if not the highest used, and I actually want to check that while I'm talking, the highest used in underused
it's at least
right now.
top 24.
So yeah. Wow, 26%. 26% used. It's like the top 5 Pokemon that's used on underused right now. It's crazy. It's got a great typing with fighting and steel. It's got like great move pools. It's got a great move pool. You can use things like Zen Headbutt. You can use things like Mega Horn. Justified is a great ability. You can swap it in on any dark type that's trying to attack you. Get an extra attack boost. Knockoff, yeah. That's another thing I didn't actually think about during practice with this thing is like you can swap that thing in on knockoffs.
Yeah, and not even care that you're losing an item.
Yeah, because you get that attack boost. Plus, it's really fast and like super defensive. I think it's got a base defense of like 120 or just over 120. It's pretty nuts. So use a Cobalion on your underused teams. It's pretty dang good. Just watch out for Mega Horn. Mega Horn does have the chance to miss, and that kind of sucks when that happens.
It sucks even worse when it doesn't miss. Continuing on.
All right. What's next, Kevin? This one's you.
In the VGC world, Tyranitar, look out for it because people are actually swapping out their Rhyperior for Tyranitar to go for a complete Trick Room zero speed Brave Tyranitar. What's interesting is that the reason why they're doing this is because of the shifting meta again. We talked last week a lot about Primarina and you have to watch out for Primarina. Well, guess what? People are watching out for Primarina, and by step one of doing that is by removing the Rhyperior entirely, swapping it in for Tyranitar, which essentially does a very similar thing, fills a very similar niche, and can actually live a Hyper Voice, especially in the sand. And on top of that, Bulldoze can lower Tyranitar's speed even further, can proc the weakness policy, and ally switch is like one of the most common moves on Dusclops. You can ally switch fighting attacks and then have the fighting attack just go right through Dusclops. It's actually a very good type synergy there, so it makes a lot of sense why it's appearing.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Tyranitar.
Like I know that Tyranitar is like a really popular Pokemon, but some of the things that you explained with that, I was like, whoa, yeah, I never even thought about that. Popularity of Primarina. Primarina can't take it out with a hyper voice. Like, ooh,
yeah,
that's spicy. I like that.
It just fits this Trick Room metagame.
Fits the current meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are trying to grind up to Master Ball this season, consider using a Tyranitar. You'll be seeing it in a lot of your teams, or try and figure out a way to take it down. What are some ways to take it down?
Scrappy Surfetched. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, Conkeldurr is still a pretty safe way.
Yeah.
You just have to keep in mind that, Conkeldurr should still be underspeeding this Pokemon in Trick Room.
Right.
It does also get access to Mach Punch if it's not underspeeding. And you just have to keep in mind that the ally switch is a potential thing too.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah,
so those are 3 Pokemon to look out for this week. Tyranitar, Cobalion, Rotom. Look out for them in your games this week. That is going to be the end of today's episode of Pokésports. Another one in the book. We're past the half year hill, so it's all downhill from here. Next week we are going to be back at it, same time, same place, 8 to 9 9 to 10 EST on Twitch, twitch.com/Pokésports podcast. You can find us as well on YouTube at youtube.com/Pokésports. That's where we put out stuff every single day. Lots of different these days fun content, a lot because of the fact that we have a little bit more time now to put it together, but it's been really cool to really like explore the other types of content that we can make and try and put out more sets and trying to put out more battles between the two of us. That's been a lot of fun. As well, we are going to be hosting at the end of the month, and I want to thank Tanner for mentioning that. We are going to be hosting a tournament. So there's going to be some more information about that. Just for the general public. There will also be a tournament for Patreon folk this week, which we are going to be talking about on the post game at patreon.com/Pokésports podcast. Kevin, you got anything to plug?
I have a bunch of Patreon teams that are going to be going up on the channel soon. So if you don't already follow us and don't already subscribe to the Pokésports YouTube channel, a couple of videos that you can be expecting include Pokemon like Gallade, like Frostlass, like Conkeldurr, like Decidueye. Thank the patrons for deciding to make me build Pokemon and build teams for these kinds of Pokemon. If you want to watch an Avalugg do some damage, that's also on the channel. Feel free to check that out. But yeah, we're getting close to 1,000 subs on the channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you haven't.
Absolutely. So again, big shout out to all our new patrons this week and all our patrons on Patreon already. Major shout out to Dakota, Scott, Sheldon, Ryan, Joseph, and Lewis for being just so awesome on Patreon and really helping us out and getting the Patreon teams that Kevin just mentioned. With that is going to be the end. Follow us on Instagram, Pokésports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter and send us your Dexit pictures at Pokésports Pod. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.